What is up, YouTube? Back with another video. You know them boys had to come up with a W. We had to give them Colt boys an L. Nah, for real though. I mean, it's an amazing feeling when you can wake up with your team a winner. Oh. And honestly, there's only like 16 teams, 16 fan bases that can say they wake up a winner. So it's an amazing feeling. It's like Christmas morning, honestly. I love it. Yeah, I just wanted to keep it short and brief here. I just wanted to apologize for any delays in the video. I'm gonna make it a lot more smoother. Hopefully they come out a lot more quicker. And I'm getting a hang of editing thanks to my friend Lobo. So the video should come out sooner. Just wanted to give a little, announcement why they are taking so long, especially for a week one video. Week one's already done for, pretty past us. So those should come out quicker. But yeah, that's all I had. Hope you enjoy the video. Goober, you know what to do. Hey, what's up guys? Goofy here, on the Texan Talk. After a close victory here, a lot closer than I anticipated. A lot closer than I would have wanted, honestly. But I mean, let's just get right into it here. We're just looking at the box score for now. We have CJ Stroud throwing for 234 yards. Honestly, I expected more, but I mean, it wasn't like a bad showing by any means. He definitely outperformed Richardson, which, we'll get into that, but he was airing that. He was really airing it out. But I mean, that's a solid showing from CJ. Now, Joe Mixon, the real star of the show. Now, I did not anticipate him going for this many yards, having this amount of workload in general. But I mean, I'll take it any day. As well as I did not expect this at all. This is crazy to me. I expected to get, have him like at 70, 75, around that range. Nowhere did I expect to be like under 50, dude. Like, that's insane. And like, just to have that tandem of both Anthony Richardson as an option for that is like absolutely insane. We can go to the receivers. Alec Pierce blowing up like this. I don't think people really give Alex Pierce his flowers ever. I had him last year in fantasy. He was solid, but I mean, I didn't really expect this type of game from him at all. I expected a Michael Pittman just because he's more reliable, and I felt like Anthony Richardson would lean on him in the past game. But geez, he was really airing that out. And Adonai Mitchell only having 2 yards, but it looked like he had there it is, targets. He had 5 targets. Now when I was watching this game, I was like, oh my god, this could have been really bad if Adonai Mitchell and Anthony Richardson had that chemistry, just a little bit more, honestly. And he just kept overthrowing him, but it's like, wow, that could be a lot worse. But going to our receivers, I mean, Nico really balled out today. I think they'll really, on the stat sheet it doesn't look like much, but he really did. He was out there. I think everyone on the offense showed up and he really did their job, really just to support that W here. Stephon Diggs showing up, he's getting 2 tutties. He's always reliable in the red zone, so I didn't expect him to get 2 touchdowns. I feel like that's a bit overkill for him, but I mean, I'll take it, honestly. Now, defense, I expected more from our defense, honestly, especially from our edge guys. But, I mean, they did their job. They were applying that pressure regardless. And we did get to Anthony Richardson twice, so that's always good to see. The Colts defense did get to CJ 4 times. Not really what you want to see, but this is a tough defense. So, you can't really blame the O-line for this type of showing. Honestly, I expected worse, if anything, but... Now, we did get a huge interception from Kalen Bullock as a rookie. That's going to be so huge for the morale, at least going into the season. And that just really fires up the secondary in general. Now, it doesn't look like we returned any punts or any kicks or like that. I honestly don't even remember if that even happened at all. But I do remember when we tried to punt and we got blocked. We'll get into that, but geez, that was horrible. Now, Cammy, he came in with the clutch even on fantasy. He was bombing. He had the leg today. And he had 50 yards for at least 3 of them, I think. I think all 3 were from 50 yards and out. It's incredible that he has. And, he really kept us in this game, as you can see, unfortunately. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the box score. I can go into my notes on how the game is. I'd like to say that I'm not upset. I mean, obviously it's a victory. I'm not going to be upset with the victory. But, I wasn't really satisfied with this victory. I expected a wider margin. I thought we would at least throw up a touchdown on them more, or something like that. But I mean, you can't really complain if it is a victory here. But I think that's the best way to describe it, as not satisfied. And that really comes from Anthony Richardson and just having that, like, that absolute just monster of an arm. Now this is gonna be I'm gonna include my live reaction to this. At least the audio for it. Here you go. Ooh, sack, sack, sack. Holy. What the Yeah, I mean that was a nuts throw, honestly. I mean, dude, it's crazy that Alex Pierce got open on that. I didn't expect him or at all to have that type of speed, especially over our number one corner and Derek Stingley. I think the main of the most of the blame goes towards Jimmy Ward not being able to have that safety help. But I mean, because Derek Stingley had the outside, and he tried his best on that. But you can't really blame him too much there. He also had another crazy throw. It was just insane to see, like, AR just being able to just launch it. Like, that much time is just too much time, dude, especially with the arm that he has. And I thought it was going to go to Adonai there. And I was like, oh, shoot, that might be a pick because Adonai looks lost. And what do you know? He just throws it up there in double coverage. And it's an absolute bomb. Like, it's insane. Again, on Jimmy, not Jimmy. Jimmy Ward, sorry, yeah. Here, let's see it again, actually. Different slow-mo angle, if anything. Look, absolutely. Oh, who the heck is Ward? And it's crazy because AR definitely had that arm, but it was like that was the only plays that he actually made plays on. It was like only balls thrown like 50 yards and out that he was making completions and just kept them in this game with his arm alone. It was insane to me. And it's because, I mean, our defense like dominated most of it, like short throws, even the run game, which I did not expect at all. Like, I was very satisfied with this run defense, and just like stopping Jonathan Taylor just at the point of the line of scrimmage in general. So that, I mean, that was always nice to see. But the fact that Anthony Richardson and our secondary was able to like allow them to stay in the game just based on like his arm talent alone, just getting open, it was crazy to me. And I'm just that first throw. Let me see if I can go back to it. Now the first chord that we showcased here. Now see Anthony Richardson slips. Now this field, at least I was hearing from the announcers. They had like a 5 minute segment on it. It's kind of crazy, but they were saying how the field was new actually, and even in the post game video or the post game interview with CJ, he mentioned that it was newer. There was a bit of slipping, but nothing that would have been an excuse by his standards at all. But honestly, I really think it was an issue. I mean, even when the first interception, or the only interception, I guess, for Kalen Bullock, the tight end, I believe, I think I don't know who, I think it was Granson that Anthony Richardson was aiming towards, and he just completely missteps and slips, and Kalen Bullock was there to get it, but it would have been on target if he didn't slip. So I feel like this field wasn't entirely ready, or wasn't broken in entirely, but that was a huge. I think CJ Stroud definitely slipped on this play here. I can replay it now. It's a fourth down. When I saw that, I was like, oh shoot, he still gets it off, which is absolutely incredible. That's a heads up play by CJ. That's what you want to see from one of your franchise players here. But I mean, again, it goes back to the field not being really ready. It reminds me of that, not exactly like that Jets game last year, but I mean, something similar where it's like it's something that's not really in our control, but I mean, you can't really blame it too much, can't put it too much on there, because the Colts players, again, are also going through that with the slipping. It was kind of crazy to see in general. And, it also brings up the point of, like, something that's not in our control, which was the refs mess up before the half, but that was just weird to see. I'll pull it up here. See the times running, and they don't really have the recollection for that. And the refs didn't really explain it. Now this doesn't spare D'Amico Ryans at all. Like, I don't know why he's trying to run a play in general with like 5 seconds left. But I mean, it's just like, why would the refs not let us know that, hey, oh, I went too far. That, like, hey, the time's gonna be running. They're gonna receive their timeout back. Like, why wasn't that vocalize at all? I mean, that's something they're gonna iron out with the play, but I mean, it's just something to keep an eye out. But it was honestly a pretty disciplined game in general overall. Those are just the negatives that I at least could see from the game. Now, some of the positives that I took from this game was definitely the running game. Now this is a revival, like by like any means. Like this is crazy to me. Like we haven't had a running game in like years, honestly. Like probably since like, oh, I don't even know, man. Yeah, honestly, I that was like a 30-minute break that I had just trying to remember the last time we had a running game. But it's so nice to be able to just rely on a running back just to get yards, man. And it was beautiful to see Joe Mixon just absolutely cut up the Colts defense, which they've done to us for years with John. Like even before Jonathan Taylor, they just always had a solid run game. And it was just nice to see we stuff them at the line, and then Joe Mixon just having an absolute monster of a day. So that was always nice to see. Now, I'd also like to mention the confidence in CJ in general. I never felt like we were losing the game at all. Even, I mean, obviously we were up the whole game, but it's something where it's like, dude, the confidence that I have in CJ, I feel like we can definitely just win any game. It doesn't really matter. And the confidence that D'Amico has in CJ as well. The amount of fourth downs that we went on is like, it's definitely like not CJ's call, obviously, but D'Amico having trust in CJ, especially at that fourth and goal where CJ ran the ball. It's like, okay, why did you even run the ball to begin with? But anyways, after that play and they go for it on fourth and goal, like that's a huge statement to the quarterback, to the team, to the city of Houston. Like, yo, we are not backing down. We're definitely gonna fight for through this whole season. We're gonna get. There's no like easy wins here. We're gonna fight for everything here. So that was always nice to see. I mean, that's nice to see, having confidence in CJ and your quarterback in general. I mean, to go off to, I mean, Joe Mixon had a monster, like I said, monster game. But Nico Collins just being there, being that like receiver to lean on. Honestly, it felt like he was unmatched against any corner that he was up against. Most of the time, he was up against Juju, which I mean, I feel like that should have been like, even physical wise, like not attributes, but like just like stature and everything else, like just the build in general. It shouldn't really be that much of a wide margin between the skill. But and Nico was just, it was just crazy. He was like, it felt like he was always open, and his technique has just gotten so much better, especially that last play where to get that first down, and he somehow caught that ball with the knee. Oh my god, that was beautiful. But I mean, in general, his toughness, I feel like every time he got up, he was like kind of in pain or something. He kind of like looked at, but he's still tough. He's just so tough. He just like muscled it out. Yeah, so Nico had a solid game. Stephon Diggs, coming in clutch in the red zone and getting those 2 touchdowns really helps a lot. Just having that veteran, just he's really good at route running. So and especially in those distances, he really thrives in those. Just getting that red zone action. Tank Dell didn't have a huge day in terms of like the stat sheet. He did have that one round like I want to say jet sweep, or like reverse jet sweep, where he literally wide open. That was cool to see. I thought he was gonna break free for a touchdown, but I mean, I'll take whatever yards Tank Dell could get me, especially with him being on my fantasy and all. But yeah, Tank Dell, I think him being on the field in general just adds that element of like, yo, we gotta watch out for like the moon ball, the glorious moon ball. Just be on him. He's not gonna show up on the stat sheet every single week, but I mean, if he has games like this where it's like, he's still having effect on the field, I'll take it any day, especially if it leads to a Texans W here. These Colts, man, this defense, was a lot better than what I anticipated they were going to be, especially the secondary. The secondary was really, holding things down back there. And emphasis on holding, that one holding call on Tank Dell in the end zone. That should have been a touchdown. Even the one, it was the same play. The one on Dalton Schultz, that holding play. But I mean, they were really good. This Colt it's crazy. I feel like if they get Jonathan Taylor moving, getting that run game active, this is gonna be a really scary team, man. Especially with AR's arm, and if the Colts offensive line can give him like any time, honestly, because like you saw him, he slipped and he aired that ball like 60 yards down the field, man. That is insane. That is like insanity, and he still has the ability to run. So once Jonathan Taylor gets his feet back under him, dude, this team is gonna be scary. Let me tell you. And if Adonai Mitchell, even though Adonai Mitchell doesn't have any yards to show, he was balling today. He had like at least two open like free tutty plays right there that he could have easily got, but with AR. Maybe their chemistry isn't the same, or maybe he just wasn't. I don't know. He just has that. He has too much of an arm, I guess. He's just overthrowing a bit, but once they get that going, honestly, they're gonna be really scary. I was gonna say they are going to, do really good, but it, but it looks like they have like a similar schedule in terms of difficulty. I mean, they still, they face the Jets, they face the Bills, they face basically the AFC East in general. So it's always going to be tough in terms of defense as well as like the Steelers and the Falcons. They're going to still face those tough defenses, but it's just crazy to me that I still think they could beat a lot of these teams, especially how they fared up against the Texans. I mean, the Texans. I mean, I might just be biased here on the Texan talk here. So I mean, I think the Texans are amazing, and if the Colts can hang in there against us, I feel like they could do a lot against other teams out there. And I wouldn't sleep on these guys. These guys are like sleeping giants, honestly. Once Jonathan Taylor wakes up, honestly, this is going to be an incredible offense. And honestly, scary. And the defense is decent, honestly. I mean, holding up against against these three receivers. But I mean, they might need to tighten up on the running back situation, or maybe Joe Mixon is just him. Honestly, like he was looking amazing out there, especially the looks that they had. Wanted to keep it short for you guys just so I can get this out there and pump it on. But I mean, it was a good game. I'm glad to see the Texans take a win here, 1-0. That's all I got for you guys. God, again, always God bless. I hope you guys have a great one. Texans!
Play action for Stroud. He's going to take a deep shot down the field. Nico Collins is there. He goes up and he's got it. What a catch by Nico Collins, a 57-yard gain.